so I think it's fun.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do about this.
There may be some paper towels, but Sonny went to get some.
Okay.
He's telling me stuff. He's got some stuff. That's all right.
Come out one at a time.
Welcome to the January 2020 NWVRS Radio Club meeting. Hopefully this year will be as good as last year's. Would you please all rise for the pledge of allegiance? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks. And don't forget to fill out the 2020 survey. Some extra copies are back there by now. And remember, this is your club, so we need your ideas and your suggestions going forward. Are there any new members or guests today? Yes, in the hat. Your name?
Alan Wetzel from Mountain, Oregon.
Alan Wetzel?
Just signed up for that. Can you spell it? W-H-E-G-Z-E-L.
And you just signed up?
About half an hour ago, yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, very good. So, Alan, what do you collect? Consoles, I hope.
I'm a total rookie. I've just been working on a couple of 60s GE plastic radios so far.
Plastic?
Good.
Competition. Yeah, there's a couple of nice plastic radios in the auction today. You'll see them.
Cool.
Any other new members or guests? Oh, yes, back there.
Sonny's down.
Somebody's got to clean it up.
Are you a member? Okay, Andrew, welcome. So, Andrew, what do you collect? New members always start out buying consoles. Isn't that true? It's true. Yeah, so you have to. Andrew came to us through OMSI, so that's one of our outreaches, if you remember. So it looks like people see those flyers and come on in and check us out. That's great. Any other new members? Okay, next up, health and welfare.
I've got my own.
Hey, Bruce.
So, just a note to take care of everybody and to listen to it. Back in June, I had a little discomfort at the end of urination. But, you know, I've got a lot of other discomforts and started peeing a little more often. When I finally peed a blood clot, that got my attention. So I have bladder cancer.
Oh, no.
So they went in, they scraped twice, and that didn't quite get it all. And so I've been going through 8 weeks of chemo and radiation. I finished that just prior to Christmas, and so I'm kind of recovering from that. And in 2 months, they'll go in and check it, do the bore scope again, and take a look inside, make sure that they got it all. Anyway, so listen to your body.
All right, let us know then in a couple minutes.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thanks for sharing. Any other health and welfare?
Okay, well, I guess Blake's put me on the spot. I'm Phil Rossi, and on November 25th, I had a quadruple bypass. lost my voice as Blake and Cassie called very graciously called the house, talked to my wife for quite a time. I couldn't speak. I got my voice back 2 weeks ago. I got my driving privileges back this week, and hopefully by the end of next week I'll be off sternal precautions. So, if anybody, like Bruce mentioned, my initial signs were shortness of breath and chest sensation when I was running. Pay attention to your body and don't wait. My cardiologist said had I not done anything, I would have been dead in bed within 6 months. So listen to your body, get a medical checkup as soon as you think something may be wrong. But anyway, I'm back from the dead.
And as I recall, Phil's quite active, right? So even people who run a lot and are very physically in good shape, you can hit anyone.
One more.
Yes.
Yes, I said a year ago, what a happy outcome. I had hip surgery. Not to be afraid of that. It's no use to suffer and put it off. I had less pain coming out of surgery than going in. And when you're standing the first day and you're walking sideways the stairs the second, and you go home. So, and your man of steel, of course, will set off all the metal detectors. But why suffer? It's like being 20 years younger. Do stuff. I used to be constant pain and stuff, and I didn't want to take painkillers. But so it's no use to don't put off the operation. It's going to improve your quality of life.
All right.
Good news. Any other health and welfare? Okay, Dick Bosch called in. He's recovering from a melanoma skin cancer on his face, but they operated and he's healing and doing fine.
Who is this?
Dick Bosch. So, next topic, leads and needs. Anyone need anything? Damien.
I have a request. I need to find for my dad. His girlfriend has 2 wind-up clocks, and I need to find somebody who still is doing repair on it. And I'm in Hillsborough, so we're in Hillsborough. I need to figure out something close.
Wind-up clock repair.
Yes. How many did you say you needed?
2 wind-up clock repairs.
Wind-up clock needed?
Have you ever tried just cleaning them and then re-oiling them?
Wouldn't know how to do. My dad wouldn't know how to do that.
My neighbor knows Time Wizard. His name's Time Wizard.
Is he in the Portland area here?
He's in Independence, and he's absolutely the best with one. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Yes.
I have a Troy Model 40 that I'm fixing for a friend, and critters got to it, and so I need to find an antenna coil, replacement antenna coil for that. So if anybody,
You have a picture of what that looks like for the radio?
No,
I've done 5 or 6 Android. I don't know which.
It's a loop, right?
that's a Model 40.
You know which one that
But
was?
it's small. It's a 4-tube set.
What's it look like?
Is it a loop antenna?
It's just a tiny thing.
So is it a loop antenna?
I've got one.
It's a antenna coil. It's the primary and secondary coils on it, and the second coil. Yeah, antenna coil.
Yeah, we could take a look if I have. Take a look at it.
Okay.
But I don't know which one it looks like.
I've got some antenna coils in the box. I knew the number of which coil we need.
Okay, George has some brand new coils.
What?
George has some brand new coils. You can get
Coils? Okay, I've got some Meisners on the box if you want to go.
Yeah, me too. I've got a bunch of mice.
Okay. Sounds like a few conduits you can make.
Talk to you guys after the meeting.
Any other leads or needs? Okay, next up, old business. Mel, you're up.
I'm up.
Yes.
The board voted to start a 50-50 50-50 drawing, starting today, and every month we will do it. If it works out, we'll continue. So, like if we take in $40, $20 will be the prize. The other $20 will go on for possibly the Christmas party next December. And we will, what my other club does anyway, buy gift certificates. If the club has some extra money, maybe they will sweeten out a little bit depending on how much money we take in. And anyway, if you want in the drawing, two tickets for $1. I will probably take the first monies and buy some tickets. They're only about $5 or $6, but I'm hoping that's okay. And next month we'll have different tickets because these belong to my other club. I didn't think they'd mind if I used the two. Anyway, whatever we take in, you'll get half, and the rest will go on for some other time.
Mel, the club will take care of purchasing the tickets.
Okay.
So turn in your receipt.
Okay, I can do that. And
yeah, because it's a club sponsored event. So we
No,
should.
it's not. We want all the money to go to. I don't remember us deciding.
I kind of thought the treasurer didn't want to really get involved. It's kind of a side thing. Hopefully you trust me that I'm not going to steal the money. I don't know. But otherwise I'd have to turn the money into him. He'd have to go back, and I don't think he wanted to do that.
That's right.
Okay, all right, well, hold off on the tickets then. That may have to come out of the proceeds.
I thought we voted on tickets in my truck.
Okay, that's fine. If somebody wants to donate tickets, I'll take them. And also, I did buy a couple tickets, so
Okay,
I will have somebody else. I always have somebody else draw. I don't draw the tickets, so it's above board, I guess. Anyway, and don't wait if you want tickets. I don't want to do it at the last minute, and then I'm going to change the price. I got a little paperwork to do, so to figure out how much is half, and so. If you want tickets, get up here before the drawing.
You're Santa Claus, how can we not trust you?
I said it wasn't bring me what I wanted to see.
Okay, any other piece of old business? Lake? Old business. No one else has any updates.
Oh, the ones that have the line on, yeah, they
You
can
have the floor for old business updates?
I'll give an update on the battery set. Can everybody hear me? Okay? All right, I never know. The update is that we now have the element 13 part numbers, and I'll be working with Tom to go ahead and prepare some boards. I think we're going to start off with probably 10 boards that come in groups of 10. I will probably come up with parts for maybe 4 or 5 of them. I have specific members I want to build these and suggest improvements. So like Sid did with his transmitter, we'll start off with version 1 of the Save the BS power supply. And once we get all the improvements incorporated into version 2, and we should be good by version 7. But it's a very simple power supply. We're trying to keep it very inexpensive. It is not an RV. I want to make sure everybody understands that. If you want to put it in a box and make an RV out of it, great. You'll spend $50 or $60 trying to do it. But we're trying to keep the cost of this down around $40. So the people who have a battery set, whether it is a 3-dialer or one of the later battery sets where you needed 90 and 1.5 volts, this will take care of that as well. It's no bigger than my fist. The idea is you can build it, put it in the radio, dedicate it to the radio, and if you have another battery set that comes along, buy another one. Okay, so that's what we're going after, and I think we're making some pretty good progress. We'll have another update at the next meeting on how we're coming along with version 1, and then as we get it perfected. I have 3 of these in prototype form in the field. One of them's been operating now for almost a decade, so I know that it's a solid design and will work. It's not perfect. It's, again, intended to be a cheap fix. That's what I've got.
What's the power in?
Power in is 110 volts.
Do you have a spec sheet on that?
Up here.
Available for those that would consider purchasing
You
it?
can come and ask me, but if you can get it out of an RV, you can get it out of mine. Mine goes to 135, 90, 67 and a half, 45, 22 and a half. And then it has up to about 3 amps of A supply. It's a pair of 1.6 windings, so it's about 3.2 amps. That'll power a 3-tube set if you insist on using 201s, but if you move to a 201A, you can power 810 tubes without any problem. And the C is programmable between 1 and about 22, and it's done with a diode change. We rob it off the negative line.
Heat's not a problem?
Heat is not a problem in this unit until you start to tax the A supply. You get up towards about 3 amps of A supply. You'll want to put a heat sink on the voltage regulator. The ones that I have, somebody graciously put a heat sink on the pre-table this morning. This is typically what I use. I will make them available. Kind of like Sid, if you're going to tax this thing, we'll have an LED and a switch kit, and we'll have a heat sink for people that need it, all at an extra charge. I think you can get about 5 mils of C off of it, which is enough to run any of the radios. The 90 volt and 1.5 volt do not require a C supply, so you won't use it at all. You can just strap it. So again, we're really focusing on cost here. I know this group well.
Any thoughts to make one battery powered?
No, you can do one battery powered, go buy yourself a bunch of battery holders and make one. I've done that before. Just buy a box and put a bunch of D cells in it and a whole bunch of 9 volts strung together.
No.
But the cost of a pack of 9 volt batteries, yeah. Yeah, you get them from Dollar Tree, they'll power the radio for as long as we have a meeting. There are some vibrators. I think that's what you're getting at, is the ones that have the vibrator in them, and you put just these cells in them, and then you put a quadruple in it, and go. Dane, you had a question?
Yeah, I was thinking, like some of the little portable battery sets, like the 50s batteries, the little pocket size.
Yep.
This would run that too?
Yep. That's what it's designed to do. Those don't tax the unit at all. You just take the 90 tag and the A supply. And you can, it has a variable A supply on it. You can go from 1.5, well, actually probably all the way down to near 0, all the way up to well over 6 volts. Once you get close to 6 volts, you're starting to get your tax voltage regulator. Yeah, that's absolutely in the design. There's a lot of use for that too. Any other questions? Perfect, thank you.
Thanks. If you remember, this project was started to save the battery sets. How many times have we seen a battery set on a free table where you go to a sale and they're like $3, $2, $5? So this project is to save those radios and get a cheap, inexpensive power supply so you can start enjoying the battery sets. How much does an ARB3 cost now, the brand new battery placement for battery sets?
$160
So a brand new battery power is about $160
plus shipping.
plus shipping. So as a club, we're trying to get this cheap supply for you so that you can buy and restore and keep those battery sets. So thank you so much, Blake, for this.
Yeah, that's great.
You bet. I think I bought 25 or 30 3-dialers for $5 to $10 a piece. They were stacked like cordwood in the back of one of Charles's 17 storage units when he passed away. I went in, I paid $5 without tubes and $10 with tubes. Filled up my car with them. And nobody wanted them.
Right. Well, maybe this will change. Any other updates to old business? Okay, new business. Does anyone have any new items? Okay, one of the things that will come up is the archives. The archives will be set up here at the Abernathy Grange. We already have purchased a 5-drawer metal locking cabinet that will be placed back there when the Grange removes the coat rack and stuff and moves those around. There'll be a space for us to have our archives here. So we do have a need for someone, if they want to be in charge of the archives. I don't believe it's a very involved position. You just basically show up with a key, and if someone needs something from the archives, then we'll open it up and let them take a look. We're going to have to be very cautious about what leaves that archives, because some of the items are basically not replaceable. So we would like to have someone that would run that position.
I can do it with the library.
Jeff.
Yeah, okay.
Wow, thank you so much. That's in addition to putting up the clock,
Oh, I forgot the clock.
the flag, making coffee, bringing donuts, buying the creamer, setting up the speaker system, taking things, and doing the library, and doing the archives.
I'll do it.
Wow.
It's not gonna be that hard, I think.
No, but I mean, you do enough for the club already. Yes.
A few years ago, there was theft of some of the articles for the Radio Society. First question is, was anything ever returned or found? And number two, what has the Grange done to provide security for this facility?
Change the doors.
Yeah, we have better locking doors, for sure. And to answer your question, yes, there were things stolen, and I think one of the items was recovered.
I think one was.
And
they broke in back here, I think, too.
yeah, so they're in the closet, so it's not too hard to get into this place and, you know, open up the doors and steal things.
What was recovered?
Radios.
A 5.2 Bruno.
Yeah, Bruno.
Somebody was on Craigslist?
Yes, it was on Craigslist.
What about the hunkerdyne?
The hunkerdyne was.
Well, where is the hunkerdyne?
I don't know.
It's not here, I don't think.
I have it.
Oh, yes. Ryan has it. I think the one item that was stolen and never recovered was the one that was created by Don Iverson. It was his
Transmitter?
It had copper coils in it.
transmitter. That is still,
Oh, that got scrapped.
That's
you know, missing. And at this point, it's probably not ever going to be returned. Yeah, that's too bad, because it was created by Don, and you know, that's another item that's not replaceable.
Right.
Yes, okay. Any other new business? I do want to mention that there's a lot of banter going around about the email groups, and I think what we should do is allow the groups to go on like they are today. Now, there was a question on why we have two groups. That's because we were asked to have two groups because people did not want to subscribe to anything Google, so that's why the Yahoo groups was created. So we have two separate groups. And the other thing was we could make it so that every email is monitored. That means someone has to sit there in their inbox, look at the email, and decide whether it's worthy of posting or not. So with more liberty becomes more responsibility. So rather than monitor everything, we just open it up so anyone in the club has access to post. So I don't think we want to go backwards and say, all right, every time someone submits something, we have to monitor it, approve it, and then post it. So for those people who are getting too many emails, we could allow them to go to a once-a-day subscription where all the emails come in, only hit your mailbox once per day. And the other thing is, when we have emails going out, then you can perhaps only send it to the original person who sent it in. I'm a member of a photograph group called OTAMS, and whenever someone sends in something, the person who responds does not send it to all. They change it to send it only back to the original sender. So that's something we may want to do. So is there any other input on this? Should we start monitoring? Should we only have one group? Should we, you know, cut it so that it's only business related only, or only club important stuff? Because I'd like to hear from you guys. I think it's fine the way it is. If you don't like that many emails, then give us an email address that you only will check for Radio Club. we can do that.
Can you maybe make a list for us to put our name to say once a day?
That's actually something you can do yourself, but yes, if you can, yeah, you can do that yourself.
It's in the settings.
But if you don't know how to do that, yes, you can just give me your email address and I'll fix it for you so it comes once a day. How many of you guys out there are on once a day emails? Dave, how's that working?
It works a lot better for me.
Did you get too many emails?
Well, I use my computer for a lot of things that are important, right? And just deleting, you know, it's like, it's just too much. I got too many things I have to sort through to get them.
Yeah, okay. Does anyone else have any comments? Turning monitoring on, off, getting rid of an email through? Making it so that only club information that's important gets posted? What are you guys' thoughts?
Can you repeat that?
Yes. Yes.
I think it's fine the way it is. I mean, sometimes there is a lot, but I have a delete button. I enjoy seeing the correspondence because I'm new to this. I'm learning things, but if I don't want to do it, I just delete it. So I like it the way it is.
So to answer your question, is we could make it so that every email is monitored. Somebody sits at their desk, reads it.
No way.
Another thing was cut it so we only have one group. But like I say, people refuse to be part of Google. That's why we have a Yahoo as well.
I don't think we need a monitor, a screener, but I think it would be important to say what the guidelines are for posting.
Well,
for instance, there was someone once said, I found this postcard of this camp. It looks like it was from the 30s. I'm wondering what to do with it. Should I get rid of it? Or can somebody get, you know, I don't want to know about a camp on the Oregon coast from the 30s.
Well, was it radio related at all?
No.
Pat?
Yes.
Well, like he said, there's all kinds of obscure stuff that ends up on there. The way I look at it, it comes through, and I don't think it's a big deal. If it's not anything you're interested in, or if it's not radio related and you don't want to read it, just delete it. It's pretty simple.
Yep.
So I don't see a problem. Just, you know, if you don't want to read it, get rid of it.
Most of them got is 20 days, and usually it's 2 or 9.
I want to hear from someone who has an issue with the way it is right now. Does anyone in that category have any input? Because if you do, I would recommend that you send me your email address that's put on the list. We'll delete your other one, and it's only for radio related stuff. So you can sign on to your new email and only read that when you want to read radio stuff. That would be the recommendation.
Yep.
Yes, back there.
Not an issue so much maybe, but I can't get my personal email at work, and I oftentimes don't have time in the evening, so only get to my email once a week or so, and sometimes I'm just sitting there for half an hour just deleting radio club stuff that I don't care about. So yeah, I can delete it, but that takes a lot of time to sort through it sometimes.
Do you want to give us a separate email address so it's only used for radio related stuff?
I'd still be deleting all that.
Well, then unsubscribe.
To read out some of the unrelated stuff or have a reply to that only goes to the sender, so it's not going to everybody.
You can get one once a day. It's not a group problem. And then you can delete that if you don't want it. I mean, you can set it up so it'll give you all the emails in one day. So you get only one email to your address, and that's in the settings section of the Google group anyway.
Yeah, that would definitely help.
And then you can just delete that. I mean, if you look at that, you can just delete that. That's one email, and then it'll give you a digest of everything that's been said that day.
Sure.
So it's just a setting you have to change yourself.
Sure.
Right. As far as the content that is not really appropriate for radio, like I say, it's you get liberty, but what's associated with that is responsibility. So we allow you to post freely, but please be very considerate on who your audience are. You know, like trying to sell people their cars or something on this is not. It's not a good idea. If it gets to be abusive like that, we will have to start monitoring or tell that person directly, do not post non-related, radio-related items because people won't stand for it. We do have the option of banning people from this if they abuse it. Yes, George.
Why do we want non-radio emails other than
We don't.
personal
We don't.
emails between the club and each other?
it seems to me I get, and I don't look at them every day, but my finger gets a good workout on the race. So,
We should, that's, like I say, people are able to post whatever they want, but they would give them the freedom to do it, but they should be responsible and not putting junk out there.
oh, I agree. But I haven't seen that yet.
If you have a conversation with someone, you can ask for an alternate email address, and that way that just those two people can go back and forth.
Right.
And that would keep it off this. True.
Okay, Bruce.
So we got a tech email group, and finally we had to divide that up into religion and politics and another email that was specific tech related.
Okay, that's not true. We can further divide it and have a lot of groups, but it's just a lot of maintenance. Damien.
As it currently stands, with the two email groups, is there any policy right now for those people that are posting stuff that is not radio, electronic radio related, to remove them or warn them and tell them, you post something non-radio related again, we're gonna remove you from the list? Is there any policy on that?
No, there's no policy. Fortunately, we haven't had to do that yet. Anything else on this? Oh, yes.
Maybe I missed part of this conversation, but we have two groups right now, but they're both exactly the same. I subscribe to both. I get Yahoo and Google. They're both the same. Could we possibly make one of the groups a business one where we get emails from you or the board, and the other one, the forum, where people can talk about whatever they want to talk about? Would that be a possibility?
Yes, but like I say, the reason why there's two groups is not because they want the same duplicate, is because some people refuse to sign up for Google.
But if they don't want to sign up for Google, then they'd probably miss out on something. I'm just saying that'd be an easy way to just isolate. You want to talk about radio information, then what you can do on Yahoo. If you want to get emails from Pat, you do it on Google. And delete the one you don't want, or don't delete the one you don't like. That's fine.
It's a problem, but I'm not sure how we're going to differentiate. Just coming from me, I don't want to have a whole group following just for. So maybe you're thinking maybe all board stuff.
I'm just saying business stuff versus forum stuff.
Okay, Don.
Yeah, some people might not want to be on Yahoo.
Well, that's the same thing. That's why we created the Google groups. So, there was a suggestion of dividing it up, but I'm not sure how we would. We have an email that somebody wants to send out, so I'm not sure if I should put it on Google or Yahoo. I don't know. Somebody is going to mess up, and they're going to put it on the wrong group, and I don't know. I kind of don't want to have to think too much about it. Yes.
Can I make a suggestion? If people don't want to receive all the emails directly, I think what you did with me, where you got me on a daily digest, works really well. And just try that. And I don't know if there's, I don't think I receive anything from Yahoo, I just leave it on there. But I want to receive messages from you, so I get it there. And there's, you open up, there's like there's 12 things there, and you get to see the first line of every one of them, you go, and it's done. So you don't have, delete, just do it once. Shift.
Our voice from the East Coast, Chris Butler, would like to jab you in the gut and say, I like the email the way it is. I enjoy the banter and the fun text.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
I love it.
Not my words, but wanted to share that with you.
And that's from the live stream.
Okay, from live stream. Yes, Sid.
I like the way you set me up personally. I don't like getting Google and Yahoo, so I get the Google group.
Good for you.
No?
You're missing the Yahoo.
Okay.
They've got a problem.
So there isn't any other, there was a suggestion dividing the two, so.
Yeah, if we can get rid of Yahoo, wouldn't that be great?
It's your turn.
Well, except for the people who don't like.
How many people don't like Google? Everybody. Or refuse to be on Google, should I say.
You got a Facebook page, and it's pretty quiet, so that's a possibility.
Right, you guys, we can also post pictures, everything better for us on Facebook if you want to, because NWVRS has its own Facebook page. So if there's no other thing on that, how about any other new business? Well, no, because there's been nothing proposed or anything. If somebody wants to propose anything on this, I mean, my recommendation, if we do nothing, it just stands the way it is. If anyone wants to make a proposal on the Google, Yahoo groups, we'll let you do that now, otherwise we're going to continue. Yes?
Yeah, just leave it the way it is and give instructions to everybody as to how they can manage it, whether they go in and turn off the send me everything or even ignore it.
Yes. Mark Dinsmore actually had a very nice, very detailed email to do that, but yes, we can send something out to instruct people how to change their settings, or we can do it for them.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's new business. Can I make an announcement or?
Yes.
There's a lot of scams out there. I've talked about them before. I put it on the ham radio out there. There's a new one in Beaverton area or Portland area. They will call up and say they are a police officer, Sergeant Johnson or something. Well, they've checked with the Beaverton police, and there actually is a Sergeant Johnson. So if you call, is there Sergeant Johnson there? Yeah. Oh, it must be legit. It's totally a scam. Do not give money to these people. They will never, the police, if they want you, they will come and knock on your door. They will not call you on the phone. Trust me. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. Hopefully they prey on people like me that are over 50, you know. Sometimes, or maybe even less. They almost got my sister-in-law over in Milwaukee. They called and the son was in Mexico or something. She was going to write a check. No. If they want money, it's a scam. Trust that on this.
Just saying.
Every time I buy something. Okay, if there's nothing else, then we're going to go to Secretary and Minutes.
We didn't have any minutes from the Christmas party. Is that okay?
That's happening.
Oh, no, I didn't take any. So we'll let's do minutes next month.
Treasury report.
Yeah, treasury report.
You didn't take any money at the Christmas party.
Yeah, it's flowing in now. I want to thank all of you who are aggressively getting your dues in here. I've noticed, Pat and I have noticed, a significant number of you are electing the electronic call letter only, which is interesting. If this continues this way, I think it's going to have a big impact on reducing the cost of the postage and paper and ink for printing copies. Good. Jim Mason Fund stands at $42,542 as of January 3rd. It started off at 33,000, so I did a quick calculation. It's up about 29% since we started on this fund. I think that's about 4 years ago.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah.
Thanks to Chris Butler. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
And the education fund is at $2,000, and our checkbook balance is at $7,300. For those of you who attended the Christmas party, how did you like the setting and everything?
Great.
Wonderful. We did that Christmas party in December at half the cost of the year before, and the majority of the savings came from not renting the plates and the utensils from that whatever company that is. And so that's a significant savings in the Christmas party. And finally, I have to get an audit done this month, and Dave Eaton will, as usual, participate, and I'm going to call Warren Wright, who stepped in last year for the first time, and see if I can get this done in January for you.
May I make one comment about the Christmas party on that? A lot of the cost savings is because Mike and his wife went out and drove all around town and got the best deals on table coverings,
Yes.
plates, silverware, and I think what they had some extra stuff they brought from home. So I think a lot of the saving has to do with Mike and his wife.
That's true.
Yeah, Chris apologizes, he will not be able to join you this year.
Well, why don't we just buy him a plane ticket?
That sounds good. There you go. For those of you who don't know, Chris Butler is still a member of the group here. He tunes in on live stream, which Franklin has taken care of for us in last meetings, and I'm just sitting here monitoring his feedback.
Yes, librarian.
The library's doing well. I noticed there's a couple books that have been out for a while, so everybody look in your tables and closets, and I may have to start hunting people down, but it's generally doing real well.
Robbie, do you have any radio sale coordinator updates?
Mr. President.
Yes.
Is the library wanting books? Because I have all of the books I used to teach college with.
How many are you
On
using?
electronic, maybe a dozen.
We're real limited in space. If it's not too big, we can do it.
Okay, we'll talk about it
Okay.
offline.
Come look in there and see if there's room.
Yes, Robbie.
Okay. I'm back in service after getting injured about a month ago. But my voice is still kind of affected from the injury, but it's getting better and better now. Anyway, as far as our show coming up in April, it's still standing. And I talked to Arlene, and she says that they're working on the ramp right now. The ramp will be done by probably February. Because she says this bad weather we've had, it's kind of hard to work in the rain and the mud and everything over there. So the show's going to be going on at same time, 10 o'clock in the morning till 3 in the afternoon, whatever's going on. That's all I have for now for the show. And I'd say I'm just recuperating and getting along much better now. I had a real serious fall. Broke 6 ribs. Yeah. Yeah, when I usually work on Mondays down at the Blueback submarine. And I got down to the front door, and I got there a little bit early in the morning, but nobody had salted the sidewalks. And it was solid ice, and I slipped and fell. So it's been a hard deal going, recuperating. Other than that, I'm feeling fine. My pain's pretty well gone now. I got 2 more weeks of rehab to do, and I can probably get back to work again. So, anybody got any questions about the show coming up?
I have an observation. The last swap meet, there was nobody in the basement. That was a little unusual, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people canceled coming. There's 5 people that didn't. They called me and said they weren't coming because of other problems, family problems or injuries or something. So, but I'm hoping we can fill up the basement this time. Because it didn't look good. You walk down there, there's nobody there. Oh yeah.
Did you announce that we had reduced the price for the downstairs to $10 a table?
Oh yeah. Okay, that's something I forgot about. Yeah, all the tables will be downstairs are going to be $10. So and that's going to be a little savings for whoever wants to have the tables downstairs. And the woman that's in charge of the kitchen, she's going to be there serving food again, just like she did last time. So Arlene, she's gonna be there. So, if I'm missing something, let me know. Okay.
What time, can we go to set up on Friday night?
You can come in at, probably around 5 o'clock.
5? Okay.
Yeah, and we're gonna have setup start at 2, like we did last time. The setup and the tables at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Get everything ready.
Yeah, ready.
Okay. What's the date again for the show?
The second Saturday in April. Yeah. Okay. And here we go.
Is Don here? Don, you have an update for the call letter?
Yeah, nothing major, I'm just, always scrounging for material, and, text file, doc file, RTF, whatever you have is perfectly good. Maybe not, PDFs if you have a choice, because they're hard to mess with. But, if you're fixing a radio, take some pictures, anything you can think of, it's all good. That's it. And yeah, thanks for, all the sending in. So, you need to put something between those covers. Who gets this?
Okay, thank you very much. Where are you sending it now? So, next up would be, do you want to do the raffle now?
Sure. Okay.
We have to mix it up. Okay.
Go ahead and read it. You should have a name on it.
Okay, everyone get your ticket out.
Bill W.
Bill W. Bill W.
You rat?
Okay, Bill. Congratulations, you're this month's winner for the door prize. Would you like a gift card to Subway or Starbucks?
Starbucks. Okay.
Starbucks. Okay. No, you don't. You only get one. You don't get all.
Oh, come on. Oh, I'll take them all.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing. I can't
Okay.
open it.
And then I have the validation coupons here, so if you ever get one of these and they turn you down, then let us know right away, because we have the proof that we actually purchased these things. And there's nothing more embarrassing to redeem a gift card and they deny you. We only have one?
You only have one. Yeah. That's it.
Got one?
You have slime on them. Yep.
Okay, thank you. Cool, thank you.
Next up, oh,
You
yes.
wanna do the 50-50 now, or everybody's here, I guess?
Has everyone done their 50/50 ticket purchasing?
Hopefully, because I don't wanna do
Okay, well, I recommend that we have Ed draw the ticket, since he is not interested in this. I would recommend that he gets to pick the ticket.
Well, we took in $26, so $13 is the price.
Is that acceptable to have Ed do
And
that?
I bought one too, so everybody's eligible, and I'm not gonna draw.
Would that be okay if Ed draws it?
Sure.
He needs you to, not look, but draw a ticket. Okay, I'll give this back. So it doesn't, no sleight of hand. No
All the
cheating.
last three numbers.
I'll let you do that.
Name on the back?
Yeah, I talked pretty loud, I found out I could. Okay, no name on it, so the last three numbers, 623, 623.
You got it.
Wow.
Wow.
A big winner. There you go. And the rest of the money will go Sorry or something.
All right, next we have a special guest, Lorraine. Would you like to mention something here?
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to tell you that I have easels now, so I no longer need you to do presentations. Yeah, I'm sorry. So thank you for the help. Okay. As you may recall, I'm here from the.
Give her the microphone.
Committee. I can't talk and not move my hand. I'm here from the USS Oregon Commissioning Committee. I gave a presentation in November, and you were kind enough to give the USS Oregon Commissioning Committee a donation, and so I want to thank you for that. And the other thing is that in the presentation, I mentioned that the Commissioning Committee had two goals. One was to get the information out about the USS Oregon. And we did that, and so I'm going to ask you now, since you know about the Oregon, to talk to your friends about it. Okay? Just mention it, because in Oregon, it's hard for us to get information out about nuclear submarines. Okay? And then the other part, of course, was raising money for the USS Oregon Commissioning Committee, and you helped us with that, so I appreciate it. I talked to Pat the other day, as we go through the process with the commissioning, I will let you know as we make the steps forward. Right now, rumor is it that we're going to have the commissioning in January, February, March, April of 2021. Now remember, this is subject to change at all times. Pat has my information. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call me or email me, and I will get back to you. Some of you have also sent me some information after the meeting, and I appreciate that. Any questions? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And you are a great group of guys, okay?
This will go into our archives. Oh, when we get. And we do have this in case anyone wants to look through this.
And I'm going to give you a couple more business cards. So you can
business cards.
Yeah, I know.
Business cards available up front. Next up. Yes.
All right, Money feature is bring what you want. So we're going to start with the very first one here, which is
putting them out. I mean, it's like two that you're buying one, putting them off.
I turned this off because
It's all money. These things are so gas is expensive. Oh, that's cool.
it's this is now my wife's radio. I brought it home from a second-hand store, and she likes to listen to the old classical station. And right now they're playing the opera, so I'll probably end up turning it off again. Since it's all in Italian. It's a hypersonic model 8802. It's AM, FM, and cassette. It was made for Penny's, J.C. Penney Company, in 1990. If you want to read a detailed dissertation about the radio, it was in ARC in September of 2003. Franklin tells me that he also has one. This is the only one I'd ever seen. Now he's seen two. But the neon lamps, according to Penny's, they're available to replace them if they go out. However, that was in 1990, so I would trust they will last a long time. It does have cassette, so if you have a set of the Cinnamon Bear programs on the cassettes, you have a way of playing, because most people don't have anything that plays audio cassettes anymore.
Thanks, Dick.
Well, I think they're going to see, doesn't it?
I trust you have a good Christmas, and
That's pretty good.
this thing I call an acorn radio. All the tubes are acorn tubes. Now, in the dim, dark past, somebody gave me a box about this big and about this wide and about that tall, completely full of brand new acorn tubes. I stored them away until I got to looking for something when I grew up, which is a disaster at the moment. And I found these tubes, and I thought, well, you know, we ought to do something with them. So this is the first effort. It is a totally working radio. I brought my own antenna because we don't have any.
If you call in the next 10 minutes, you're also going to receive an extra free supply with your order today. You can keep that for yourself, share it with a family member or a friend.
Okay, enough of that. The tubes in here, these two here are triodes, and they are parallel to drive the speaker. This one up here is a pentode.
Can you show us?
The tube is right here. And if you want to look at this afterwards, it's the total schematic that I drew, and I made up the circuits and did all the calculations for making the radio. The radio was designed to work on an aerial and a ground. It wasn't designed to work like this one that has the built-in antenna system. So this works very well in addition. So this tube here, the top is the plate, the bottom is the grid, and the two pins that stick out to the side are the suppressor and screen. And it is a 954, where these are 955s. Another 9 going this way, 955, which is the detector. And it's just a triode type of detector with no special feedback. And so it's kind of tuned by the first two stages are tuned, and they're, when you look at it, they're pi coils on the back. And it was a fun challenge to make them. So they are done that way. The pilot light, when you turn it on, is an LED behind the acorn. And the acorn down here, in what made it kind of interesting to me was when I was recovering, I used to go walking in the park. And the park next to our house has acorn trees, so I pick them up and put them in my pocket till I got this big box full. So then I'd go out in the winter and throw them back on the ground for the squirrels. Oh. And so I was always kind of thought they were interesting. But this acorn is a different one that they seem to grow around here, and I kind of like the looks of it better. Now, if we turn it around, the speaker is in the center. The two coils are here, first one, second one, and the detector and the amplifier. And you can see the connection to the grid right here on the bottom of the tube. And not everybody can probably see that. And the power supply sets in the bottom, and it's 2 transformers. And they're one of them, both transformers are 6-volt transformers, 110 to 6 volts. So one of them runs the tubes, and that 6 volts runs the high voltage by running it into the 6-volt winding and then taking the output, which is now 120 volts, which was rectified, and the whole thing. The speaker set's in the center, and the grid is a piece of this board as well. I seem to, once I left Rogers, I had a bunch of it they were going to throw away, and I thought, no, they're nice big pieces, and so they come. Anyway, so this is the Acorn radio. It's a home brew. This little thing is, I called it 30 feet antenna. And the battery in here is now 2 years old. And it's still. Okay, any questions? Come and look at the schematic if you will. I'm building another one, and it's super happy with that. So,
Hey, George?
Yes.
That looks like a cheap bluebird to me.
Well, I have a bluebird. But, yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Secondary.
Yes.
Acorn tube, totally new to me. Can you give me a little bit of background?
Okay, the Acorn tube was designed by RCA for the military for their high frequency communications. It had to be small, and it had to fit in a socket, which these sockets are. And when you look at these sockets on here, you'll see they're white porcelain, and they tend to have a problem. The problem is they're a very tight fitting, and when you push the little thing down in between them, it takes a lot of pressure, and it sometimes breaks the seal on the pin. And so I have designed my own, and it will be on the next set. This is something I do to keep me out of my wife's hair. Any other questions? It works on all the stations, and in my area it works quite well with just an antenna and the ground. That's the way it was designed. This little box has another feature. If you have enough cord between this radio and the way this box is, you can increase the volume because it gives feedback into the detector set coils, which are setting on the back. And so you get the same thing is taking some of the plate and taking and feeding it back into the grid coil, which is, as you know, that type of detector, which is one which was used since almost the beginning of tubes. When somebody was smart enough to realize they had to have a grid resistor, which in the early days, even Armstrong made that mistake. So, any other questions?
George?
Yes.
I just want to respond to your question. Weren't acorn tubes developed during World War II for radar detection and intervention?
Not radar, but some of the frequencies
The
they
VHF
were using,
frequency, yeah.
ship to ship and all that type of thing.
Like about the 2-meter handband.
Yes, exactly.
That's what they were for.
And that's what they were for, and it was a military project. And military went to RCA, and RCA was, now other companies made them too. I don't seem to have any because all my boxes say RCA. Yes?
Were they used for consumer radio?
No. I have never heard of them being, the only thing that I have seen for consumer radio is in one of my older magazines called Hobby Electronics, and it shows in that a radio a regenerative radio in the AM band using a 955.
Was it high frequency?
And, well, when I was,
They use some in his hobby.
I hate to tell you all this, I'm taking time, but when I was 15 years old, I made a pair of walkie-talkies using acorn tubes. And they worked, I got up to 2 miles on the walkie-talkie. 45-volt battery, and I used the 957, which was a 1.5-volt filament, and so I could use a decent. And my friend on Whidbey Island, he'd walk down the beach, and I would be at going the other direction. We talked to each other. It was just kind of fun, kid stuff. However, I didn't know that my grandfather was listening to us, because it came through channel 2 on his television. Anything else? Anyone?
George, Dan had a comment about the acorn tubes.
Yeah.
Dan had a comment.
Oh, yes, Dan.
Yeah, National used them in some of their receivers, and of course, Ham's got them on the surplus market and used them in all kinds of things.
Oh, yes.
So they did have application outside the military.
Now tell me about that, because I didn't know it was in a commercial set.
It's in the National 110.
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
It's in the front end of it.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a
okay.
super regen.
And it's a super regen. They make excellent super regenerative detectors.
Just amazing. It's a very collector
I bet it is. Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah, back here.
Teach college.
George.
Wow.
George? Yeah,
Back here.
where?
Back here, Blake.
Oh, yeah,
Raising my
Blake.
hand, yeah. Chris adds that this was all, the acorn tubes are also used in the TBY radios during.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Said Chris shares with us that these were also used in the TBY receivers, the Navajo code talkers thing. As I recall, Chris built one of these. He built a reproduction, remember, because we went shopping through my acorn tubes. I think he went through it once, and I think he and his son and I went through my tubes so he could get the rest of his parts as a Christmas gift. But he comments that TBY was used by the Marines in the Pacific. Most well known was the Navajo code talkers. And he also comments that there were a number of articles in 40s and 50s magazines for making projects.
Yeah, there was.
But if you've ever seen that, I don't know how many of you remember
One of
when.
the oscillators that I built used 2 rods about that long side by side and hooked to the plate and the grid through capacitors. And that was pretty high frequency. Anyway, enough of me, I blabbered it all.
This is my set right here that I bought at the last swap meet from Bill, and originally this came from Gordon Phillips, so it was a lot worse shape than this, and unfortunately I don't have a before picture, but this is what it turned out like. And if anyone knows where to get a dial for a Jackson Model 60, I could really use their help. And over here is another project I'm working on, so you can see it's in really bad shape, but I'm asking for maybe some veneer help on perhaps the best way to fix this. So that's all I have.
Pat, excuse me, what are those radios?
This is a Jackson Bell Model 60, and I'm missing a dial for it. And I can't guarantee that's the model. That's what Gordon Phillips put on it with his notes. And this over here is a Crosley Cathedral, but I don't have any information other than that.
The 165.
The 165, I believe.
Model 165 Crosley radio.
I used the wide open category as an opportunity to bring a radio that I've had for a few years. It's a silver tone, sold to the service catalog in 1939. A little 5-tube Bakelite set, and credit goes to Esteban for doing the beautiful restoration job. It was originally black, and it had a little crack in it, and this Divine made it look like $1 million, so I sure appreciate that.
Well, I brought one of my favorite small radio, and as you can see, they don't come any smaller than this 5-tube superhead. Needless to say, this little puppy gets really hot after it's been on an hour or so. So when you find one of these, if you're lucky enough to find one at all, they pretty well self-destructed because the cabinet got so hot that this plastic here was usually all melted and distorted, and even the cabinets were all warped. My understanding is this is from the early 50s, and they were given away as a premium if you bought an Admiral refrigerator. I haven't found any backup to prove that or not, but that's what I've been told by others who are in the know on this radio. I've been having a guy been trying to buy this from me for about 20 years now, and like I said, it's my favorite tiny radio. And the class of midget radios and mantle radios, they're all much larger than this. So I don't know what category that fits in, but I call it a sub-miniature All-American 5.
What was needed for your restoration on the cabinet?
I pretty much got it in that condition. It just was dirty. All I did was clean it up. I doubt it was ever used much.
Okay.
Because I had seen and had a number of these over the years that were just pretty well trashed. And it came in several colors. My friend up in Seattle, Steve, has one of these in green, which is quite unusual. But other than that, I don't know. It uses the All-American 5, 50C5, 35, 50B5, the early version of the C5. And as you know, those tubes get very warm. And it's a standard superhead circuit. So it's everything that in one of the larger radios, except compressed down into that tiny little cabinet.
Sonny, too bad they didn't put, like some radios did, a little sheet of asbestos across the top. Saved them.
I don't know, it might have, but still in all, the rest, well, it might have. As far as I know, there's none in this, there's nothing there.
No.
Can you show us? One thing about this, to save space, it uses inductive tuning. There's no tuning condenser in it.
Oh, wow.
So it uses those two slide rods for inductive.
Could you show us what it looks like in the back?
Tube line up?
Well, it has the back on, a back on it. So,
Are those miniature tubes?
they're miniature tubes, standard All-American 5. And it performs quite well. It does not have a built-in antenna. It requires an on-wire antenna. It's a standard All-American 5. All-American 5 Superman.
Did it come with a free refrigerator?
I'm sure it's worth more than the refrigerator is today.
Oh, wow.
Any other questions?
You put it inside or
You
on
can
top?
see that was the original refrigerator.
Well, I, like Dan, took advantage of Bring What You Want, and this radio had, I restored this recently, so I don't think any of you have seen it before, but I found it up at a garage. They had a garage sale up in Long Beach, Washington, once a year. It's a 28-mile garage sale, and didn't really find a lot, but I went into this one barn and spotted this and made a good purchase on it. So I brought it home. I had to do one veneer repair on one of these arms here, forget which one, and then I rebuilt all the, any of you are familiar with, I rebuilt the Bakelite blocks in the radio. This is a 70B made in 1931-32, and I like to gut the tar out of all the Bakelite blocks and then put the new capacitors in there. It makes for a clean restoration that way. And I had intended to, this is a 7-tube, it's a Model 70, so it's a 7-tube super heterodyne, one of the Philco's earlier radios. It's a little bit, has the circuit it with the volume control on the antenna, which is one of the earlier designs. But it does play very well, and it came out to be a nice restoration. Has a 47 output with I think 424s, a 27 detector, and of course an 80 rectifier. I've intended to restore this thing, and I took the front face off and used regular stain, and then basically the rest of the radio was done with toner. But to restore this and sell it, and so like a few of my radios that I get done with them, and I made the mistake of bringing it into the house and showing it to the wife, and she goes, "Oh no, you're not selling that." So we put it in our collection, and it sits in my my man cave family room, and I play it quite a bit. It like I say, it plays very well. So anyway.
Question.
Yeah.
Did that model have the capacitors which had the fluid in them?
No, it had the capacitors in the tar in the Bakelite box.
Oh, okay, so it didn't use those. Some Philcos did.
The Marshals?
Oh, you're talking about the filter capacitors?
Yes.
No, this one did not. These are the dry type, and they are the I think like you said, they're Marchon or what? No, these did not.
The Marshals were the wet ones.
They were the wet
copper ones.
Yeah, the copper ones. And this one did not have the. I know what you're talking about. These were the aluminum ones here and here, and I believe these are probably the original cans that are on here. So anyhow,
They're liquid.
The 91 over here that I restored that has the original Marchons on top.
Yours does, okay. Yeah.
Not in service, however.
Right, yeah. It's good to either seal those off or do something so they can make quite a bit of mess when they leak. But before you restore them with modern caps. So, any other questions or? Okay.
I bet it plays well.
It does. It plays real good.
I also use the open category here to bring what I think is a fairly uncommon radio. In fact, uncommon enough that neither Sonny or Blake were familiar with it, so that's a once-in-a-lifetime experience for me right there. This Panasonic radio is from the 70s. I found it on eBay. It also is a radio that doesn't have a tuning capacitor, but it doesn't tune inductively either. The information I have says it tunes by varying a bias voltage across diodes. And it has 3 presets for AM, 3 presets for FM, and a manual tuning, which means, in effect, it's got 7 tuners inside it, all in one case. And so there's a speaker, electronics, and 7 tuners.
Your biggest account, which was Murphy.
And it works pretty good. I won't win any prizes for tone or anything, but it functions very nicely. And so it's got presets like a car radio, but it's not mechanical, and it's not digital, it's analog.
Now the dial on that is a meter.
On the dial, I'm sorry, the dial you'll notice is a meter which reads the voltage that's biasing the diodes, only the meter is calibrated in kilocycles or megacycles, depending which band it's on. Questions?
Is it powered from 120 volt or is it battery powered?
120. I got it plugged in here.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Is there a model name or anything?
Yeah, it's right there.
It's up there. It's right there.
It is a Panasonic model RE6250 or C. I don't know what the C is. Electronic preset tuning 7 transistor 14 diode radio.
That's a model 625 something?
6250.
Thanks.
Question real quick. You know what year that is?
It's in the 70s.
Early 70s?
Yeah.
Wait, it's not here.
$40.
Oh, that's wow.
Next. This, for me, is been an ongoing project. It's a Philco model 3760, and 37 was the last year Philco produced cathedrals. And this is a 5-tube set. The reason it's an ongoing project is it's got a little demon running around inside of it after I overhauled the whole thing. That when you tune in weak stations, it likes to squeal a little bit. Strong stations, it works well. But it doesn't do it all the time. It does it when it feels like it. So I've got to take it back apart. And I've resoldered all the connections to the IF cans and the band switch. It's a dual band radio, and it's all octal tubes, so fairly modern compared to Mike's over here. The thing about these, they were really into the faux finishes on this radio. And when I got the radio, somebody had stripped off all the faux finish, and it had a coating on it of something that looks like they sprayed it on in a windstorm. And so I refinished it, and I found out online that you can get a full finish decal to put on these. So I ordered the decal, and when I got it, I didn't really care for it. And I talked to George about this, you may not remember, a while back, and he said, well, you could paint it on yourself. And I thought, I don't have the skills to do that. Well, after I got the decal, I thought, you know, I don't like the looks of this decal. So anyway, I did the finish myself with different stains, and I used automotive striping tape for the to put the lines on it. And I mean, this will never be a museum classic, but it's lots of fun to work on, and it does work fairly well for what it is. And anyway, that's pretty much it for this set.
You did a nice job.
Yeah, you did a nice job.
Good.
Can I get your name?
Larry Tobkin. Yeah, Tobkin.
Okay, thanks.
So I bought this here, the little pine board transmitter when I first signed up, and put it together, and it works. It's been up to 700 kilocycle range. I haven't gotten it tuned in too well. It can transmit about 4 or 5 feet, and I should be able to come to my house with it. But since I don't really know what I'm doing at this point, I'm happy with it where it's at. So I hope to get it working further. But that's my first tube project besides fixing amplifiers. So that's my first home building. Thank you.
Can I get your name?
Yeah, Daniel Wells.
Okay, thanks. I'm taking notes for the newsletter.
Well, I pre-categories, always interested to bring in tubes, and one of the thing here is I wanted Lord Baltimore. This is a 222. It's interesting because this is really a screen grid tube, one of the first made in America. And the screen grid, it doesn't have a cathode, so it's a battery set used for a pilot or something. And I got the cards. I thought there was a tube in it, but you got to read the eBay closely. It was just some. It's got the card for two, so I know tube inside, but I have a 222. And another tube is local marketing. If you noticed the Myron Franks, I had several of these years ago on tubes. So when the radio department actually put the Myron Frank on here, and the other typical blue Arcturus box, other tubes. I got the tubes from here. Sometimes the boxes are empty. And this is kind of an interesting set. Is my well, it's got a 30 tube in it, so it's really a radio tube. Type 32 card was actually a radio. And if you look in here, this has got a 30 tube in it. But the tube's inside the coil, so that's kind of an interesting concept. I already read up on it. It cost me $75 originally, and oh, and I did take it apart. You know, it's got a 32, and that's the coil, so it now fits in here.
$30% more juice than 26. Yeah, you can trade them for, you know,
Got this
position for the 26.
educational electronics kit from, I'm not sure when.
Here,
hold the microphone up.
I have never tried it.
There, hold the microphone so they can't hear you.
Alright.
Yeah, now you're good.
So,
Is that guy important?
my dad used to work for a high school.
Radios over
and
there.
they were cleaning out a couple years ago. And
I
found this in the
get
back
too many
of the
things
classroom.
on mine.
It's just basically an electronics kit for, comes with 5.
Well, two radio frequencies, these
tubes.
26.
I don't have a ton of experience with it, but I think it's interesting.
Put up more shoes.
Been playing with it a little off and on. Just trying to find more info about it, see what I can do with it.
So it's a breadboard.
Right. Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. It's made by DeVry. Is that right?
Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's got little baseball.
26
Yeah.
about $10 a piece.
Can I get your name? Andrew?
Just Andrew?
Yeah, Galanti.
Sorry?
G-A-L-A-N-T-E.
I tried again here.
Okay. I'll.
Gotta hold the mic about 2 inches from your mouth.
Right there. G-A-L-A-N-T.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
Wow.
I'll
go over there.
Okay, thanks.
This is one of my fun projects. Although it looks like a nice collectible set, which I found out after I did this. I looked on eBay for some knobs and found out that they were in the condition that this one is in right now, it'd be worth about $350. But unfortunately, I was already stripped apart years ago. Well, I used the chassis to develop a radio, just something that I wanted to do. Early on, when I joined Radio Club, my first trip to R5D3, I went in and found some tubes, which are the little doorknob tubes. And so I bought a bunch of the doorknob tubes and figured out what they were and decided I was going to make a radio of it. And so, of course, this goes back over 20 years. And so I designed a circuit, ruined a couple of tubes, fortunately found some more tubes from one of the club members. So you can find a station here.
And aging in Portland, aging with a choice.
It sounds pretty
and
good
aging in the
all
right
the same
way.
kind of
And,
tubes. They're all
you know, on the show,
717
we
eighths.
talk a lot about how important
And,
it is to be able to stay in
the radio started out in this chassis just as a prototype to get the concept of operation. And once I had it in there, it sat in a cardboard box on my workbench for years. I had another project that I was doing, which was the regen radio, which I brought in when we had the regen part of our show and tell. And during that time, I needed a cabinet to hold the speaker so it would I could tell what it sounded like. And I rummaged around the attic and I found the cabinet, put the speaker in it, and so I had these two things that were totally separate from each other. And then all of a sudden realized that they belonged together, so I put the chassis back in the cabinet and voila, I have the radio.
It's very similar to an All-American 5, the way it's designed. It's 5 tubes, but they're all the same. And this has a power transformer in it. And the power transformer came from a place they used to trade with, it was Wackney Willie's. And it was a 36 volt secondary, which if you add up the tubes, we've got 6 tubes at 6 volts, and they're all in series. Plus the pilot light gives me 36 volts, so that turned out well. Then I used a voltage doubler and doubled that voltage for the B plus, and it gives me about 27 volts. And power's set nicely. And that's about it. It's just a fun part. Thanks.
Okay, quickly, we're gonna vote for the best featured radio for the month. So how many vote for this one? Raise your hands, please. We have 4, 5. This one? $19. This one. Right here, this little silver tag. Four, 5, 6, 7. 7. Okay, this miniature one right here.
Winning.
19. How about this one? It's a nice cathedral. Okay, only 15. All right.
The last year for the Model 6.
Panasonic. Panasonic, rare tuning.
Yeah.
They're after tuning.
19. Okay.
All right.
Cathedral. Okay, this little first tube project right here. Seven. Okay, the collection of tubes. 7. Okay, 7. Okay, this training breadboard.
From a guest, too.
From a guest.
Can you believe it? I think it's the first time we had a feature from a guest.
17, 18, 19, 20,
Oh,
21.
it's 20.
Oh, wow. You have to join the club? Wow, okay.
Uh-oh.
All right, it's another restoration tabletop wood here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
Wow.
So what's the height?
The winner. Breadboard. Breadboard.
19, 19, we have 19. So the winner is a guest. What's your name again? Andrew. Wow, congratulations. So, if there isn't anything else, we do have an option. Items back here are no reserve items that will benefit the club. And then over here, yes, Mike?
Are we gonna decide on monthly features for the year, or at least next month?
Oh, I can announce that right now.
Okay.
Next
the next monthly feature is going to be any radio that has an A. So the A. And then Sid is going to graciously do the TED Talk, and it's going to be antenna. He's going to do a coil antenna. So you can bring any radios with that has an A in it, like Atwater or Admiral. Yeah. So anything with an A, or starts with anything that has an A.
Okay, thanks. Mike, do we have any feature of the month for tubes?
We did, well, it was wide open, there wasn't a specific tube for the tube of the month.
Does anyone have any tubes for tube of the month?
Damon brought one.
I've already given a challenge that it was a 5U4G.
5U4.
5U4G common rectifier. Oh, okay. Anyone else have?
In keeping with the A theme, acorn tubes or other tubes.
Yeah, that's for next month, that'd be perfect. Yeah, why don't we do that? Good suggestion, yeah.
Anything with an A.
We could make the tube of the month for February be acorn tubes.
Okay, acorn
starts with an A.
Of the month for February. Any radio with that name.
Good suggestion, Dan.
So like I say, next up we have the auction back here for the club items, and then the member items over here, which may or may not have a reserve. So I think we should allow a 5-minute recess before the auction starts. Yes, George.
I think you ought to, like we did today, some kind of because
Bring what you want. I'll let Mike decide
They all look a little actually
schematic. The schematic was for, you know, like 4 different ones. The schematics are one thing. Well, a whole bunch of ones.
Yeah, we go down to one of those. Let's say right, yeah, it probably has the same
and it's got a little window. So it's got a tile on the side. So it's kind of square. Yeah, square. The back of the box. It just, you know, what happened, and then the other half.
all but one are right there. Oh, I know. Like I say,
Tom, I'm going to slide right by you there.
Just run over.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And Bruce.
Yeah, but I had to work for it to get that darn thing open. Yeah, I do. I just get the milk as, you know, so it doesn't matter what kind of coffee you put in, as long as you put in enough chocolate to cover the taste. They make a good breakfast sandwich. We got a really good one in Seattle. before the shoreline thing. Yeah, it was very tasty. Of course, we hit there at about, what, 6?
Oh, yeah, they had to be fresh.
So they were,
Well, of course,
even if they were from last night, they were probably fresh. Yeah.
they get some of the scary.
But no, they heated it, you know, you heat it up, but however fresh it was, or black pepper on it.
Yeah. Sprinkle a little water on a paper towel and wrap it around it and throw it in the microwave.
As long as it's not green, it's edible.
I don't know. Like green is
Well, George's video was really interesting. Design. Well, he's also an educator. In some ways, I think he probably should have won, but that red board was so interesting that. Like a neo-modern cathedral, but it is fun though.
Oh, yeah. But this one's not going to be making any money.
these are all donations up front. But the ones on this table are from people in the club. There's nothing coming to the club from any of those. Okay, we'll do it separately. I'm down there now. We'll do it separately. I'll start maybe auction this stuff off first. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Because I don't want people to take off. I'd rather get this stuff off. Well, that's what I was going to tell you. I think we're going to start over here on this stuff here first. Okay, along this table. Then if you want to turn the camera around, then I'll auction all that stuff in place. Okay? I sure will. This?
Yeah.
All right.
You just don't want to move it too quickly because if somebody's watching it,
I think Chris Butler's watching.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody's ready.
Pardon me, guys.
I want to get started on this auction. Ed and Davey are behind the bar up here in the kitchen to take your money. Once you are the winning bidder on the items, we're going to do all of these items along the table over here on the side first. And these are items that belong to club members to auction.
Can I borrow you?
And then after that, then we will do all of the items up front second. And these are the ones up front are all donated items. So 100% of the proceeds will go to the club. 100% of the proceeds will go to each member that has their radios up here on the table. So I'm going to start here with this is Zenith H845 8-tube AM/FM. It's about 1958 to 61, somewhere there. This has a $60 reserve. Okay, so I want to entertain any bids for at least $60 for this radio.
Excuse me, pardon me.
So nobody's jumping up and down on that. Okay, and so you're selling it for someone else, right, Lyles? Yeah, Lyles brought it, but it belongs to someone else, so that's why they want the reserve. Okay, I'm going to say any bids for 60, once, twice. Okay, no sale. All right.
Mike, don't say the reserve first.
I don't believe there's any reserves on it.
Mike, don't say the reserve first. Just go ahead and let him bid on it. Start at $1. And if it doesn't meet the reserve, it's a no sale.
That's the only one.
Yeah, okay, that's the only one. Okay,
Yeah,
there we go.
That's the only one with a reserve.
Okay.
This is a, okay.
No reserve.
Dave Pemberbeck is telling me that this is a 5 megahertz oscilloscope. It does power on. So
does it trigger?
Anybody's interested in this?
Dave, does it trigger?
Okay, how much? Five, right here to Jeff. $5. Anybody want to go 6?
I'll go
Anybody
6.
7? How much?
6.
6 over here. Anybody $7? 7 to Ray. Okay, $7 right here. Anybody 8? $8, Jeff. 8. Anybody 10? How much?
10.
$10 over here. Franklin. All right. 10. Anybody want to go 12? We got $10 right now. $12 for Ray. $12. Anybody 15? 12. 12. Anybody want to go 12? Want to go 13? Are we done? $12 once. $12 twice. Sold to Ray Holland for $12. Okay. I got this nice little Western Royal standard broadcast only with push buttons. That's a nice set that could be restored. Just need to have the woodwork done on it and go through the radio. Actually a nice set. Any bids on that? Anybody want to go $5 on it? 5 to Jeff. Anybody 6? $5 right now.
6.
6 over here to Franklin. Anybody 7? 6 over here. We're going 6 right now. Anybody 7? Anybody 7? $6. $6 once. $6 twice. Sold to Franklin for $6. Okay. Now, what is this stuff? Oh, so we're auctioning off this, but it's not here? Okay.
It's fully functional.
Okay.
But there is a minimum bid.
Okay, so this has a 175 minimum bid. This is a Bali Key West gambling pinball game working. Takes nickels, includes an owner's manual, extra parts, and lamps, I guess that says. It's got pictures of this machine up here. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It's fully functional. Anybody want a bid on this thing? Minimum bid on it is $175. Anybody $175 on the pinball machine? Valley? It's a gambling pinball machine game. $175. Anybody want to go $175? The item is not here, but I believe Sonny has it. So here's the pictures of it. $175 once. $175 twice. No sale.
Hey, Mike?
Yes.
Little confusion.
What?
When people win the auction, they pay the person who brought the radio, right?
Yes.
They're not paying us.
Right.
They go right to the person who brought the radio.
Yep, so nobody's involved. Nobody
I
involved.
believe so.
Is that yours? Okay.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I turned it off.
I think so too.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Right.
I thought it died.
Is it working?
Test. Hold on.
Okay.
Test. Okay, yeah. Oh, okay, and my bad for not announcing that first. I'll have to give you the name of the people that own this. Now, who owns this?
Pat.
Pat?
I already know.
So we got that handled. Okay.
Yep.
And then this was Dave
Dave's.
and Rebecca. Okay. So we're good now. All right. This belongs to Dan Howard. So if the winning bidder can pay him on that. And I don't believe there's a reserve. This is a Pilotone 6 early AC set, 1929. So you can plug this into the wall, get a speaker in your business. Nice set. Any bids on this?
$5.
5 over here. There's no reserve, right, Dan?
No reserve.
Okay, $5. Anybody want to go 10? $5 to Franklin. Anybody 6?
No,
$5. $5 to Frank. Okay, 6 to Art over here. Anybody 7? 7. Anybody want to go 8? $7 to Franklin. Anybody 8? $8 to Art. $8 over here. Anybody?
I'll go 10.
$10 to Franklin. Anybody want to go 12? $10 to Franklin. Anybody? $12? Okay. Anybody want to go 14?
14.
14. Anybody 16? 14 right now. Anybody $16? 16. Anybody want to go 18?
18.
18. $18 to Franklin. Anybody 20? $18 to Franklin. Anybody want to go 20? $18. $18 once. $18 twice. Sold. Franklin, $18. Okay. So you want to pay Dan Howard for that.
Okay.
All right. Same with this. This one belongs to Dan Howard, so pay him. This is a nice little International Radio Corporation Cadet Jewel, 1936. A real cute little Bakelite radio. Take any bids on this? 5. Anybody want to go 10? $20 plate right here. Anybody 25?
25.
25 over here. 30. 30 to top. Anybody 40? We got $40 over here. Anybody want to go 50? $40. Anyone 45? Pat? 50 to Pat. All right. Anybody 50? $60 right here. Anybody want to go 65? $60. Anybody want to go 65? Are we done? 65 decimals. Anybody 70? 65 right now. Anybody want to go 70?
That's a deal. It's a deal.
Okay, Tom. 70? $70. Anybody 75? 75 Esteban. Anybody want to go 80? 75. Anybody 80? 80? 80 to Tom. Anybody got a $85? It's $80 to Tom. Yes. Anybody 85? Are we done? 85 Esteban. 85, anybody wanna go 90? Okay, 85 Esteban, are we done? 85 once, twice, sold. Esteban, $85. Hangman Howard. Okay. Okay. Who owns the power supply and, you do?
That's fine, it can go separate or together.
Separate, or, okay.
Do they go together?
Does one power that other radio
Yes,
up?
it does, yeah.
Let's go ahead and, I think it'd be best just to do it to comments since they even one power together. I would. Yeah, because this radio won't run without the power supply, so we're gonna bundle these two together. Any bids on this stuff right here?
5.
5? Anybody want to go 10? 10. 20, right here. Anybody want to go 30? 25. 30? Okay, 30 right here to Jeremy. Anyone want to go 35? 30. 30 to Jeremy. Anybody 35? 35 to Blake. Anybody want to go 40? 40? Anybody want to go 45? We got 40 right now. Anybody 45? 45. Anybody 50? 50 right here. 55. 55. Anybody 60? We got 55 right now. Anybody want to go 60? 55. Anybody 60? Back. Mel, 60. Anybody want to go 65? We got 60 right now. 65 to Jeremy. Anybody want to go 70? Anybody go 70? Anybody want to go 75? We got 70 right now to Jeremy. Anybody want to go 75? Are we done? 75 once. 75 twice. Sold. Jeremy for $75.
Nice, right there.
I believe everything for the auction for members items. Now we're gonna do the donated items are all up here. We got
Coming through here, coming through.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 console radios. I think we can start with those.
I figured on that Howard radio, you probably really running that sided stuff, you know, it sounded like you had to have it, you know.
Right over here, this is a real nice set. It's like a Philco.
If you want it that bad, you can have it.
No, even got the tools, you know.
Yeah, this beautiful
I didn't even know what we should do
radio.
about reading. I was
Must
just,
have been in
I didn't even know
the
what we should
late
bidding.
20s, I would imagine. Anybody, any bids on this?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Consoles are so nice.
Battery says don't go to.
$20 to Don.
Verizon.
Anybody want to go 25? I got $20 on this set right now. Anybody want to bid 25?
Space thing.
I
Are we
know.
done? 20?
Get it big.
20? $20 once, $20 twice. Sold. Don Hanson, $20. This Philco.
Oh yeah. Ooh, it's beautiful.
Here we have, this is a 10S.
Yeah, being on the radio in the basement, you know.
Oh, 669. Zenith.
That table speaker.
Nice
That's what
black
I've been
dial
looking for.
Zenith.
It's the biggest
Beautiful
thing I
set.
would.
It's all there. Looks like all the wood looks good. Any bids on this? 10, yeah, the 10S, so it's got 10 tubes in it. 10S 665. Any bids on this one? All right. $5 right over here. Anybody want to go 10? $5 for this Zenith. Anybody want to go $10?
Wow.
$5. $5. Anybody want to make a bid on this nice Zenith?
10 tubes.
$5. 10 tube Zenith.
50 cents a
$5
tube.
Once.
50 cents a tube.
$5 twice. Sold. Larry, right? Oh, I'm sorry, Don. Oh, sorry. Okay. Sold to Don.
You pay up front.
And what's your last? Martin? Yeah. This is another Philco. Any bids on this?
I think that's like 11 too, isn't it?
It's missing some parts in the front.
What model is this?
This one, the Zenith? Oh, this, it's a Philco, and I'm not sure what model it is.
3710.
Oh, yeah, 37-11. Anyway, it's got all the tubes in it. It's got the rectifier 80 that sits right on top of the transformer. Lots of tube shields, if nothing else. Anybody want to give me any bid on this at all?
How about $1?
$5.
Anybody bidding? Oh,
There you go, $1.
Okay, $1 to Esteban. Anybody want to go $2? Are we done with this? I think we are. $1 once, twice, sold. Esteban for $1 on this.
Wow. 11 tubes. Less than.
This, I'm gonna move this transoceanic out of the way for now. We'll do this console right here. This is a really unique and beautiful piece of furniture, let me tell you. I'm not even sure what it is. Does anybody know? It's a General Motors. Ooh, beautiful. And it's got one maybe little tiny thing here that could be fixed very easily. Otherwise, it's in great shape. Yeah.
Nice drawer.
All the knobs, and it's got felt backing and everything else. And it looks like some pilot lamps and all kinds of stuff is inside the drawer here. So it's pretty well complete that way. So you get your knobs. And it looks like, wow, it's got some paperwork and stuff inside here. And it looks like all the tubes, if I can tell, should be there. Can't swear to it, but it looks like it. Anyway, this is a nice set. General Motors, any bids on this one? $5. Anybody want to go 6? I got $5 right over here. 6. Anybody 7? We got $6 over here. Anybody want to go 7? $7 over here to Ray. Anybody want to go 8? $8 over here to Mel. $8. Anybody go 10? $8 right now. 10? Okay, $10 right here. Anybody 12? $12 over here to Mel. We got 12. Anybody 15? $15 to Ray. All right, $15 right now. $18? Okay, $18 to right over here to Pat. $20. Anybody gonna go 25? We got $20 right now. $20, 25. We got anybody 30? $30 right here. Anybody gonna go 35? $30. Anybody 35? $30. We done? 35 to Pat. Anybody 40? 35 right here. Anybody 40? Okay, $40 right here. Anybody 45? $40 right here. Anybody 45? $40 once. $40 twice. Sold. Mel Sutton, $45.
Can somebody help me put it in my truck?
Yep, we can do that.
Transoceanic.
Yes, perfect. TO. Zenith, not sure which model.
The 600L?
It's a 600. Okay.
600L?
Model 600, transoceanic. I believe everything is in this.
It's got an antenna?
Like the antenna is here. There's a wave magnet and everything inside of it. That's missing. Wave magnet's missing, but otherwise everything else in there. And it'll play just fine without that. It's got all the tubes, including the 1L6 in it. Okay. $5? Anybody 10? $5? $10 over here. Anybody
15?
15. Anybody 20? $20 over here. Anybody 25? 25. Anybody 30? We got 25 right now. Anybody 30? 30 over here. Anybody 35? We got 30. 30. Anybody 35? $30. Are we done? $30 going once. $30 twice. Sold. And what was your name?
Mark.
Who?
Mark.
Okay, to Mark. $30 Mark for the TO. And we've got a Westinghouse refrigerator radio. Any bids on this?
$5.
5. Anybody 10? $5. $10. Anybody want to go 15? $10. $10. 15 over here. Anybody 20? 15? $20. Anybody want to go 25? We got $20. 25 right here. Anybody 30? 30. Okay. 40 right here. Anybody 45? $40. 45 right here. Anybody 50? 45. Anybody 50 right here? 50. Anybody 55? 55 right here. Anybody 60? 55. Anybody $60 right here? Anybody I'm sorry?
65.
65 right here. Anybody 70? 70? Anybody 75? 70? Anyone 75? 70? Are we done? 75. Okay. Anybody 80? 75. Anyone 80? Are we done? 75 once. 75 twice. Sold. 75 to Alan. 75 to Alan. Okay.
Good deal. That's a good deal.
Real good. I'm going to do some of this gear. Yeah. That includes the DVOM and the meters.
Where's Sid?
This is a universal amplifier.
I'll take care of it.
It's got, I'm not sure what, to be honest with you. It's made by Brush. Anybody want this? $1 over here. Anybody $2? $1 over here. Anybody $2? $1 going once. $1 twice. Sold to Damon for $1.
It's a tube amp.
The tube amplifier. It's probably filled with 12AX7s. And he got it for $1. Anyway,
Just make sure you can get the color pretty much spot on.
I'm going to save the best for last. That's this stuff here. Yeah, that thing over there we'll do next, and then we'll get on to the last stuff. We got 2 more Brush universal amplifiers. I didn't see that, but there's actually 3 of them. I don't know if any of them work. I don't know anything about them. Let me see here. Look like tube amps, all right. Or at least they got tubes in them. Anybody interested in this stuff here? $2 over here. Anybody 3? Yeah.
Are you doing both? Bundled?
I think we're going to bundle these together. Is that okay? Is that all right?
Yep.
Okay, $2 over here. Anybody $3 over here? Damon, anybody 4? $4 over here. Anybody 5? $4, anybody 5? $4, anybody $5 over here. Anybody 6? $5, anyone 6? $5 once, twice, sold. Damon for $5 on these 2. I'll bet. Did you want to go or do it or?
You're almost done.
I'm almost done. That's what I was just going to say. Yeah. Anyway, we have some, I think, weather equipment. These are a lot of what these are chart. What do they call these things?
Yes, thank you.
I'm not sure they're.
It's a chart recorder, but
Chart
mine did for
recorder.
barometric pressure or water level or something.
Yeah, barometric pressure, water level, or some dang thing. There's a whole bunch of them. I'm going to go ahead and do this guy up here. It's real heavy. Anybody want to entertain a bid on this thing for $1? Yeah. He said, please. Anybody want to bid $1 on it? Okay. $1 once, twice, no sale. Then I'm going to bundle, you know what, I'm going to make this quick. I'm going to bundle these 3 big, giant, heavy things. And they're all chart recorders for weather. And same deal, anybody $1 on all 3 of those guys? Anybody want them? $1, once, twice, no sale. And the last would be these 3 things here. They're the same deal. More weather stuff. $1. Anybody want them for $1? Anybody? No? Okay. No sale on all of this stuff.
I'd say if anyone wants them for free, they can just take
them.
Or yeah, and that's it now. There's no sale. But if anybody wants to take them for the metal or anything like that for free, you can have them.
Okay, is that the end? Mike, are we done?
I don't, he's going with lives.
Mike, are we done?
We're done.
Say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye,
Chris.
live stream. Goodbye, everybody. Say goodbye.